What if the magnetic connection you feel isn't just random chemistry? What if it's a pattern, a subtle psychological game being played to capture your attention, but you don't even see it happening? Let's be clear. The title says tricks women use, but these are fundamental human behaviors. Men use them, women use them, everyone might use them, often without realizing it at all, but the effects are the same. This isn't about a battle of the sexes, but about understanding a hidden language of influence. You've been there, feeling that intense pull towards someone. You think it's a perfect spark, but then suddenly the dynamic shifts, leaving you utterly confused. You're left wondering what went wrong, but the truth is you were playing a game without knowing any of the rules. This is about pulling back the curtain on the tactics you'll face in dating. You might think you know them, but you likely don't understand the deep psychology behind why they work. By the end, you'll not only spot them, but you'll be back in the driver's seat of your own love life. And hey, if this deep dive is valuable, do me a favor and hit subscribe, but only if you're ready for insights that make a real difference. All right, let's start with one of the most powerful dynamics, push-pull. You felt this before, but you probably didn't have a name for it. 1 minute, they're pulling you in. They text constantly and shower you with attention, make you feel like their entire world, but just as you get comfortable, they push you away. The texts get shorter, they're suddenly busy, and the warmth is gone, but they haven't left completely. This leaves you desperate, your mind racing to figure out what you did wrong. You want to fix it, but just as you're about to give up, they pull you back in, and the whole cycle starts again. So, what's the psychology? It's called intermittent reinforcement, but all you need to know is that when attention is inconsistent, it becomes more valuable. You crave their affection like a prize, but this isn't always a conscious strategy. This dynamic often arises from conflicting attachment styles, but the constant back and forth creates turbulence that feels like intense passion. How do you handle this? The key is to stop playing. When you feel the push, you'll want to chase, but you must resist. Instead, match their energy, pull back and focus on your own life, but do it for yourself. This breaks the pattern and protects your self-respect, signaling your emotional state isn't theirs to control. Have you ever been in a conversation that felt unfinished? She tells you this incredible story, getting to the best part, but then says, "I'll have to tell you the rest later." You feel hooked, desperate for the ending, but you don't know why. This is called creating an open loop, and it's a masterclass in holding your attention. It's that text message that says, "Remind me to tell you what happened at work today," but she doesn't follow up for hours. It leaves a gap in your mind, but it's a gap she created. The psychology behind this is called the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains are wired to remember incomplete tasks far better than completed ones. She's not just ending a conversation, she's opening a tab in your brain that you can't close, but the only person with the password is her. You think about her for hours just waiting for that conclusion. The key to beating this is to recognize the loop for what it is. When she leaves you hanging, don't chase for the answer. Instead, playfully close the loop yourself. You could say, "I'm going to assume they all lived happily ever after." You're showing her that your attention isn't a toy, but you're doing it with a confidence that's even more attractive. She looks at you with trusting eyes and shares something deeply personal. It's a story about past her or an insecurity she's never told anyone, but it feels like a sacred confession. You feel a surge of protectiveness, an instant bond. But what if that vulnerability was a strategy? This is strategic vulnerability. It's not about lying, but it's about sharing a carefully selected weakness to accelerate intimacy. The story is real, but she's used it before because she knows it works. It's designed to make you feel special, like you're the only one she trusts, but it's a fast track to bypass your defenses. The psychology is powerful. It makes you feel needed and trusted, which lowers your own guard almost instantly. You start sharing your own secrets, creating a deep feeling bond in record time. But that bond might be built on a manufactured moment, not genuine earned trust. A truly confident person reveals vulnerability over time, not as an opening move. So how do you handle this? Receive her story with grace, but don't immediately open your entire soul. You can say, "Thank you for trusting me with that. It means a lot." You're validating her without getting swept away. Pace the intimacy of the relationship based on actions and time, but not on a single powerful confession. We're getting into the deep stuff now, and if this resonates, it's because these patterns are everywhere. Recognizing them is the first step, but it's not the last. If you want to keep going deeper into these hidden dynamics, make sure you're subscribed and check out my other video on female manipulation exposed, where we pull back the curtain even further. Do you remember that date where you felt like you'd known her forever? She loved the same obscure movies, used the same slang, and even leaned in right when you did. It felt like destiny, but it might have been a tactic. This is called the mirror effect or mirroring, and it's one of the most subtle but effective ways to build rapport. She's subconsciously or sometimes consciously adopting your mannerisms, your posture, and even your speech patterns. It feels like you found your other half, but she might just be reflecting you back at yourself. This works because we are naturally drawn to what is familiar. When someone mirrors us, our brain registers them as safe, like minded, and deeply connected to us. It creates an incredible feeling of being understood, but it can be used to manufacture a connection that isn't truly there yet. The solution isn't to be suspicious of every connection. Instead, gently test the frame, casually introduce a topic or an opinion that is uniquely yours, and see how she reacts. Does she adopt it instantly, or does she have her own perspective? A real connection is about two different people coming together, but a mirrored connection is just an echo. She's amazing, she's beautiful, and she's always busy. Her schedule is packed with friends, hobbies, and a thriving career. You feel lucky to get a sliver of her time. But this might not just be a circumstance, it might be a strategy. This is the scarcity principle in action. People place a higher value on things that are rare or hard to obtain. By being less available, she instantly increases her perceived value and makes you want her more. You find yourself competing for her attention, but it's a competition she engineered by making her time the prize. The psychology taps directly into our fear of missing out. When her time is scarce, you're more likely to drop everything for a last-minute plan. Her limited availability feels like a sign of high value, but it can also be a way to keep you perpetually in pursuit, always feeling like you have to earn her. To counter this, you must have your own sense of scarcity. Don't always be available at a moment's notice. Have your own plans, your own passions, and your own full life. When you propose a date, suggest a specific time. If she says she's busy, that's fine, but let her be the one to reschedule. You're signaling that your time is valuable too, and true attraction is about two high-value people choosing to align their lives, not one person chasing. She texts you because she can't open a jar. She asks for your advice on a minor problem at work as if it's a huge crisis. She praises how safe she feels when you're around. It makes you feel strong, capable, and needed, but this is a powerful psychological trigger. This is called triggering the hero instinct. The term suggests men have an innate biological drive to feel needed and to protect the people they care about. When a woman creates small, solvable problems for you, she's giving you a chance to be her hero. You feel a sense of purpose and validation. But what you're really feeling is a powerful bond forming. This tactic is devastatingly effective because it taps into a primal desire to feel respected and essential. Each time you rescue her, you get a hit of validation and you become more emotionally invested in her well-being. You think you're just being helpful, but you're becoming psychologically attached to the role she's created for you. You don't have to stop helping. Instead, recognize a pattern, be her hero, but also observe if she's a hero in her own life. A healthy dynamic is built on interdependence where you both support each other. But if you are always a provider and protector in every context, you might be playing a part in a script she wrote. So there you have it. These are the hidden games you will encounter, but now you can see them. The point isn't to become paranoid. Many of these behaviors are unconscious patterns rooted in insecurity, but conscious or not, the effect is the same. They leave you feeling confused, anxious, and powerless. But now you understand the power comes from recognizing these patterns for what they are. It comes from having the confidence to set boundaries, but it also means having the strength to walk away from dynamics that undermine your self-worth. True, healthy attraction is built on respect and honesty, not psychological games. By understanding these tactics, you're no longer a confused player, but an informed observer. You are back in control. If you made it this far, show some support and like this video and share it with someone who needs to see this. Comment below with which one of these tactics you've experienced the most, because your story could help someone else. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.